Hey, good morning. This morning, I titled this video, Where Are You Going? And I really want to just kind of take some time to be grateful for this space here. I'm live right now. And, I feel like these live videos are an opportunity for me to really show up and be vulnerable. Excuse the noise. Really show up and be vulnerable and just and be present. This is like a practice for me, and it really ties into where are you going, because for me, I've been waking up at 5 o'clock usually, and honestly, I've talked to a lot of people who've been getting woken up at 5 o'clock, whatever that means. I don't know. There's gonna be some more traffic noise, but I think what is important for me is the fact that when I get woken up, I cannot go to sleep again or do anything without my body is so strong in telling me what I need to do, or if something's off, or if I'm uncomfortable, or if there's something that I'm not addressing. My body is going to shove it in my face. And I don't know, a lot of people might not have that luxury, and a lot of people might not have that, that connection. But it's something that you can cultivate. And I wanted to share because there's pieces of me, especially from trauma and whatnot, that when I'm uncomfortable, I want to go into flight, and I want to go into um like express mode, and I want to do stuff. I want to act. It's like it's this very like masculine piece of me, you know, that and I think that's kind of what happens. We become polarized in either like this masculine place or this feminine place when we have trauma. And it's either like we're either fight or flight, or feminine, we're freeze. We go inward and we curl in. And it's interesting because for me, when I, like this morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, my body was stirring, like I couldn't go back to sleep. I didn't want to go back to sleep. I just felt awake. And I was listening into the silence, trying to figure out what my next step in the morning was going to be. Some people have routines. I have routines, but I also like to have like a general container. And then I like to allow for whatever happens to happen in that space, for whatever I'm feeling to be in that space. And so, usually I do like cold showers and stuff like that. And that's very like masculine energy. That's very like like out into the world, like virile, like there's a lot of it just awakens your body, and it pulls you out of that inner world and puts you out here. But this morning I was feeling like I really wanted to like curl inward. I was feeling a lot of tension in my hips, which is where a lot of like my emotions get stuck. My sacral chakra, um, and And so what a practitioner told me to do one time, and it hit me like that, was like, do what you're feeling in the moment. So, and sometimes those states can turn into chronicness, but I think that's when you fight them. When you fight those states, then you hit this wall, and there's this pressing up against what your body wants to do, and then you're fighting it, and so it becomes this chronic state. But when you allow it to move through you, which is what I ended up doing, I ended up surrendering to it, and I ended up curling up into this ball and just like moaning and like, oh, like I had so much stuff that like stuck in my throat, like like words that I wasn't able to speak, or like, feelings that I wasn't allowing myself to feel. And it was just coming up from that sacral place, from those depths, from that feeling. And, I had to go into that feeling. I had to curl up. I had to go inward for that stuff to come out. And so I just wanted to share with you that, there's a balance that we are all, a part of. And it's really, for me, it's really important to really tune in and to listen, because, we all have these ideas of what our future and what we should be doing, and all these messages, do this, do that. But really, really, we find ourselves in that chronic state, these chronic issues, these circular patterns, because we are pressing up against what our bodies are wanting to do, and what our bodies are really, really trying to go into. We're afraid of that pain. We're afraid of that, that maybe that disconnection or that loss. And we've spent so much of our lives, especially when you have trauma at an early age, we spent so much of our lives trying to contain that, because maybe at that time it was too difficult, too painful, too scary to feel. And so you have the opportunity now, as an adult, as anybody listening to this, you have the opportunity to really touch base, to really start to cultivate that relationship with yourself, to start to listen in. And you don't have to do it alone. There's so many practitioners, and there's so many methods that can help your nervous system regulate, that can help you get more in touch with your body. And they don't have to be superficial either. There are some really powerful therapies out there, that don't require 10 years of talking to a therapist. That there's psychedelic therapy has become a very big thing in the past few years, and with the right practitioner and the right container and space, it can be very helpful. And I go to a network care chiropractor who basically helps reprogram your nervous system through your spinal cord. And it's worth checking out. It's very different, and I don't know many people who know about it, but it's something to look into as well. But anyways, I just want to say that for me, like going inward this morning has been like, uh, going against that routine of like, you have to go do a cold shower, because this is like some regiment or whatever. Like, structure is good, but ultimately your body's voice and your body's message wins. And what really helps us move through things is when we're able to be flexible, when we're able, when you're able to be malleable, because the sculpture the image of the bust of our face that we have, that we like look at in our mind and we think, oh, that's who I am, that's what I want to be. That's great and all, but the journey to knowing the true self inside of you, um is one that takes the courage be to be able to bend to reality, and to what is before you. you know you find the next steps in your life below your feet, um not not um and it not 10 feet away. So what I wanted to circle back to is where are you going? And the answer is within. The answer is within, because if you don't, you got to go within. And if you don't go within, you go without. If you don't go within, you miss out on that knowledge that your body is trying to share with you to help you move and grow and change and awaken to this. Because the bust that is actually waiting for you, it might not look like the one you have in your head, but it's a lot more fucking beautiful. I'll tell you that. And it is a dynamic journey. It's not a destination. So please go within and find those steps beneath your feet, and trust and listen. And know that it's not always about doing, but it's what the earth element is all about. It's when you allow the dormancy of winter to cultivate that space inside of you, for you to awaken to the spring. There's a seeds need a lot of different things to happen to them. Some of them, in order for them to bloom, some of them need to be scarred, some of them need to be fermented, like tomatoes, in order for the seed to actually sprout. And so we need that dormancy period, that period of like inwardness, in order for us to go outward. And even if you're in a warm climate where it's warm all year round, there's still monsoon season. There's still these different environmental factors that allow this fluctuation, these periods of going inward. When it's raining in monsoon season in the jungle, everybody's inside. No one's going outside because it's raining. And when it rains, everything is alive again. It takes honoring those cycles with inside of you, and honoring your body to really flow, move, and heal and grow. And so find your next step, listen in, go within, don't go without. Thank you.